Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Natalie and for today's makeup look I've created this really beautiful smoky glittery glam makeup tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do that and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see how to create this step-by-step makeup look, then keep on watching. I'll start by using the Kouzami Instant Light Makeup Primer, and this is really nice. You have to shake it so the little sparkles can go everywhere, and then using my fingers I'll start to massage that onto the whole skin and including the eye area as well. It's a very lightweight primer and it just gives a really subtle glow, but it feels really light on the skin. It also dries really fast and it doesn't leave any residue, and it's just a tiny bit sticky, so the foundation will help grip on it really well. Next I'll use my favorite foundation, and this is the La Mer Soft Fluid Foundation, and I'm using the shade number 150 Natural, and this foundation is truly amazing. It is, I would say, medium to full coverage. Sigma F80 brush and buffing that into the skin. I love this foundation, how it glides onto the skin. It looks really natural, and it has a soft matte, I would say, finish. It really perfects the skin really nicely. It does have some SPF in it as well, which is great. I'm focusing most of the foundation just on the center of the face, and then where you want more coverage I'll be just dotting that in. Next, onto my favorite corrector, and this is the Sisley Phyto Eclat number 2, and it comes with that really nice metal part, so it helps to really depuff the eyes, but it also feels very nice. That then corrector will help to remove any discoloration on the under eye area, and it will just help us to use less concealer. Also make sure you focus it into that very inner corner of the eyes, because a lot of us, that's where we have most of the dark circles. And now, to give some warmth to the skin, I'll take the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation in the shade number 10 and a small brush. This is the Zoeva 134, and just focusing it in areas that I want to give a little bit of warmth onto the skin. You can use bigger brush, but I'm using this one so I can really control where I'm applying the warmth. And you can see this brush makes it super easy to apply it, and obviously it's a multi-use brush. You can use it to apply also highlighter or cream blush, but for today's tutorial I'm using it to apply the bronzer. For concealer, I'll take the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer in the shade number 2C, and I absolutely love this concealer. It's probably one of my absolute favorites and most used ones. And as you can see, I'm applying it a little bit lower down because we want to try avoid putting a lot of concealer near to the eyes, just because that will make it stay into the wrinkles. And using my Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer, I'm literally dabbing that slowly and making sure to create that triangle shape so it can really help give some brightness to the under eye area. So just tapping motions will help the concealer blend really easily. Make sure you're just not dragging under the eye, because it's a very sensitive area of the skin and you want to make sure you don't irritate it. I'll also use a little bit of that concealer just on the center of the forehead and a tiny bit in the center of the nose, and using the same brush I'll be blending that in, and that way it will just help highlight the skin even more. And for the brows, I'll take the MAC Lingering Pencil, and this is a great pencil because it's very small, so you can get extremely precise. I'll firstly apply it where I need most of the product, just to create a little bit of a stronger shape. So that would be around the perimeters of my brows, because afterwards we're gonna go with another product. and I'll then go with my Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade number 3. And this is great because it will help fill any of the gaps, but also it would look really natural. And that will instantly just give it a little bit more volume and a really lovely shape. For today's eye makeup, I'm gonna use a creamy eyeshadow, and I'll take this one from Ellis Fass, and this is in the shade E127. These Ellis Fass creamy eyeshadows, they're super pigmented, so I'll be taking very little onto my eyes. This will just help give a little bit more warmth to the eyes. And then taking the Real Techniques number 203, I'll be just softening that in, keeping most of the product onto my eyelid, and then the rest taking it into the crease. And that way it will just help give a little bit of warmth. So when we put all of the green eyeshadows on top, it will just look really nice. They spread really easily, these eyeshadows. They're extremely long lasting. You can also use them by themselves. And they have some gorgeous shades. I'll be using some of my other colors in upcoming tutorials. And as you can see, I'm literally pulling it slowly so it can open up the eyes, but make sure you just keep it just above the crease. And now whatever is left on the brush, I'll be taking it underneath, so it will just give a hint of a color. To give a little bit of definition to the eyes, I'll go ahead and use the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Cocoa, and this is a really lovely dark brown eyeshadow that will help just give a little bit of depth, and it would look absolutely amazing. So using a tiny bit of this stick on the outer part of the eyes and almost taking it a little bit upwards like that. And then very quickly taking a flat brush, this is the MAC 213, and start to soften that going upwards. So this is just to give a little bit of depth to the eyes, and it will make it extremely long lasting. So although we're doing green eyeshadows, I like to start with more brown tones and then adding the green on top, just so it gives it a little bit of depth and it doesn't look like super green. So again, leaving that just by the crease and softening that downwards. And I really love this flat brush from MAC because although it's flat, it's quite flexible, so I can use it to really blend, and if I want, I can use it into the crease as well. And now, in case you take this quite high, you can go back with your first brush and soften this with this first brush, so it has a little bit of that more camel cream eyeshadow that we used. If you want, you can stop this eyeshadow on that stage if you like it like that, because it already looks very beautiful. For eyeshadow, I'll be using this gorgeous eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona, and it's the number 5. The colors look like that. It has a really nice silver, rose gold, greens. I'll start by using the dark green, which is this one here, using a Wayne Goss number 04. With my eyes open, I'll be applying the color just on the outer corner of the eyes. So again, very little, because these shadows are extremely pigmented. So blending very lightly and gently, making it focused just in that outer corner of the eyes. And especially the fact that we applied the cream eyeshadows beneath, it will help grip even more onto it. So again, blending, and make sure your eyes are open in that stage. So you can see I like sometimes to blend that way, and then if I know that I've went too far, then I take the brush the other way around and start to blend that way. So that way it can just make it a little bit easier when you're blending eyeshadow. And as you can see now, the brown tone is coming from underneath, and it's just making it look really nice. And now going back to my eyeshadow palette and taking the paler green color, which is really beautiful, and I'm back to my MAC 213 brush, just using the other side of the brush and removing excess on the back of my hands. and I'll be placing this color just on the mobile lid here, taking it until the crease. And starting to look really, really nice, but you will see in the end with some other things that we are going to apply, it's going to make it look amazing. I'll tap off whatever product I have on the brush, and I will go back with the more silvery shade here, which is the one in the beginning of the palette. Just in the beginning of the eyes, I'll literally push some color in, and that will just give it a little bit more brightness. And now, to give some depth to the eye, I'll be taking the black eyeshadow from the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette and a small angled brush, very, very close to the lash line, and I'm literally pushing the eyeshadow in. So that way it will just add a little bit more depth. I like to keep it thicker just towards the end, so it can just make the eyes look a little bit bigger. And now, just for the outer part, you can go back with your Wingos 04 or just any fluffy brush and start to soften the edges of the black eyeshadow just into the crease. I'll take a little bit more, and I'll start by pushing that in onto the lash line, but just more towards the center, and I'll not be blending that out, I'll just leave it there. Now, with these kind of looks, you can start your eyeshadow first and then do the rest of your makeup if you experience a lot of fallout, but I decided to go for the eyes second today. So as you can see, I'm slowly building that up, and as I'm coming towards the end, I'm just lifting my brush a little bit higher. So you don't want to do strong motions because that will just create a lot of fallout. Then I'm taking back my first brush and start to soften all of the harsh lines. Of course, there is no added product onto the brush, but I'm just using it to soften any edges around the eyeshadow. And I really, really like how this turned out. And of course, if you wish, you can leave it on here and just put your mascara, but I will show you something super, super exciting now. So for the start of the show, I'll be using this product here, and it's from MAC. It's called Swing on a Star, and this is a very, very glittery eyeshadow. I will open that, and it's a really, really beautiful green eyeshadow. The packaging looks like this, and I'll be taking some of the color that is in the cap. So if you have a look at how it shines, I really, really like it. The MAC 213 eyeshadow brush, and I'll be taking some of this sparkle, and just because I want it to last a little bit longer and stick onto the eyes, I'll take some of my makeup spray. This is from Estee Lauder, and I'll come and press that onto the center of the lid, and oh my god, this product shines so, so beautifully, and it looks incredible on the eyes. It just really, really reflects, and it just takes this eye makeup to the next level. I mean, it's great. And this glitter pot is probably never going to finish. This product is discontinued, but I happened to find it on one of these sites that they sell different discontinued makeup. Now I went back to the eyeshadow as it's wet, took a little bit more and just added it more onto the center so it can give a little bit more shine. Now you can add as much as you like. If you want the glitter to look a little bit softer, then you don't have to wet the brush, and that way it would look more sheer. I like to also take the glitter just slightly higher, so approximately up until the crease, so then when my eyes are open I can see the shimmer shining through. Went ahead and redid a little bit of my concealer just because there was a slight fallout and I wanted it to be very glowy underneath the eyes and clean. Now onto some eyeliner. I'll be taking this Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in this shade Scorch, and it's almost like a golden brown. So applying it literally until the center, so not all the way in because that will make my eyes look smaller. I'm gonna go back to my eyeshadow palette and take the paler green onto a pencil brush. This is the MAC 219S, and I'll use this to soften the pencil and to just literally connect both top and bottom together. So that will give it a little bit of drama, but it's not gonna make it look super dark, which is what I prefer. But of course, if you want, you can go ahead and smoke it out with a darker shade. I'll also make sure to blend it slightly lower because that way it will just help make the eyes look slightly bigger. And lastly, for the eyes, just to make it even more sparkly, I'll be taking the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Metallic Taupe, and I'll take some of this product just on the beginning part of the eye, so it adds a little bit of sparkle and just a hint into the inner corner, and just even a tiny bit onto the top part of the eyelid. Of course, if you want, you can skip the step, but I think it just gives it that final touch and it looks incredible, and especially in pictures it would look even nicer. Now for mascara, I'll take one of my new favorites, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. And I love this brush. It's very different to what I use in general, but I find that I can easily tightline and get lots of volume and lots of length, and also separate the lashes, which is great. So start with being very close to the lashes and until you coat every single part. I start by coating the outer part first, and then as I move I go towards the inner corner to make sure I coat everything. And wow, you can see this is the difference between the one with mascara and the one without. It gives an amazing effect to the lashes, and yeah, I think it looks great. For today's eyelashes, I'll be taking the Fleur de Force eyelashes from Eylure. I had opened them before, that's why they look like that. I'll just put the tweezers just in the center and using this duo glue, which I find is the best one for strip lashes. Applying a thin layer of this. Just make sure especially that on both corners you've applied enough, so it would stay really well. And then I just like to take the lash and curve it like that, just so it can take a better shape when it goes onto the eyes. It would be best to just wait a few seconds before you apply it, because if the glue is very wet, then the eyelash is going to be sliding everywhere and it's not going to stick very easily. So take your time with this step, because it's going to make everything so much easier. And now that the glue has dried, I'll look down, place it on the center, and then attaching each corner of the lash, and you will see, because it has dried down, it will just grip instantly onto the lashes. And then with the back of my tweezers, I just like to just push it in, so I make sure it has got stuck really well. I'll take just a pale beige color with a brush just on the brow bone, but this is optional, you don't have to do it. I'm just doing it so it can look a little bit more kind of polished and put together. To finish off the face, I'll take the bronzer. I'll be using the Luminous Bronze Light from Hourglass, and this is a very beautiful bronzer, which is slightly sparkly, but it just helps to really perfect the skin. And using the Morphe M500, which is a big fluffy brush. And for today's blush, I'll take this shade from MAC, and it's called Warm Soul, and it's a really beautiful kind of peachy beigey shade that has slightly bit of sparkle. So using a small brush, so I apply it more focused. This is the Morphe Y9, and I'll put it just in the center and taking it upwards. Next, I'll use this very full coverage concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape, just to cover some of my spots around my chin area. And using a small brush, I'll literally pinpoint that only where I need it, and that way we wouldn't have to add a lot of foundation. So you can see just very little product. I apply it onto the spot, and then I just blend around it, and it literally disappears. And now for powder, I'll be taking the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. And now using my Real Techniques contour brush, but I really like using this for powder. I'm taking the excess off the back of my hands and then literally pushing that on the face. So I apply it mostly onto the T-zone, especially in that beginning part of my cheeks. Very little underneath the eyes. And then if I wanna make sure that it lasts even more, I'll be taking it underneath the cheekbones just to make it even more long-lasting and to sharpen the contour slightly. Now, as I was finishing this makeup look, I thought, why not contour just a little bit more? So I'll be taking the Benefit Hoola bronzer and using the same brush that I used for my blusher, and I'll start to sculpt slightly more, just because I feel that it can just support this look. So again, going on to the same areas where we applied the bronzer and starting to carve in slightly more product. And now for the lips, I'll be doing muted, more nude lip for today's look, and I'll be using the NYX lip pencil in the shade Natural, and this is a really beautiful universal kind of brown. So I'm just going to be carving around and keeping it quite natural for this look. And as I'm coming on the top part, I'll connect them together, which I think is gonna look very beautiful with this look. And now for lipstick, I'll be using my favorite lipstick, and this is the Revlon liquid lipstick in the shade Seduction, and it's the most beautiful brownie nudie shade that actually smells really nice, and also it glides really nicely and feels very comfortable throughout the day. To sharpen the lipstick, I'll be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium, and a curved brush like this, and this one is from Shuamura, but anything similar will be fine. And I'll be just coating the lip brush from both sides, and I'll start to sharpen the bottom part. And then going back with my concealer brush that I used in the beginning, and I'll just be smoothing out the concealer that I just applied. So this is the finished look. I hope you like it. I would love for you to tell me in the comments below what your thoughts on. I love it, and I think it's definitely a look that I'll be recreating again in the holidays. As usual, all of the products and the brushes will be linked down below, and if you haven't subscribed, then I would love for you to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and ring the notification bell so you can receive a notification every time I upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.